Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We had a really good call yesterday. Hopefully, most of you were on that. Brian Long, the president and CEO of Memorial Healthcare, came on and talked about what they're working on, including testing. I do want to touch on that a little bit later, but I've had a couple of emails from folks that were not able to make the call. As I mentioned before this call started, if you would like to listen in on that conversation, that is available on our SEDP YouTube channel. That link can be found in the daily update email I send all of you. So for today, we have a couple of folks that we'd like to have talk. Also have several updates on other items to provide, but wanted to give our friends at PTAC, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, an opportunity to give everybody an update on what they've got cooking for the month of May. I think most of you probably know PTAC. I'll let Sam from their office explain here in a second, but they're a great partner for our organization, a great partner to many businesses in the community that want to be able to sell a product or service to some type of government agency, public sector agency, particularly the federal government. So very much appreciate the collaboration and wanted to have them provide an update for you today. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Samantha Fountain, who is with our regional PTAC office, who will give that update. So Sam, go ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
You're good. Yep.
Okay. As Justin so graciously introduced me, my name is Samantha Fountain, and I'm with the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, fondly known as PTAC, and we help small businesses get into government contracting, whether that's at the local, state, or federal level. Our program is grant funded at the state and federal level, so everything we do is cost-free to our clients, which is awesome, or as we like to say, it's prepaid by your tax dollars. And we don't have any huge updates right now because we've been lucky enough to be on a few of these calls recently, but we do have some really great webinars coming up this month. We have our market research webinar on the 19th. We also have a Navigating Beta.SAM webinar on the 28th. And that one in particular, I think, is very important for everyone to go to, especially if you're interested in federal contracting, because Beta.SAM is the new contracting opportunity website. It used to be FedBizOps, but it moved in November, and a lot of people are having issues navigating it as well. And this is the website that has all of the federal contracting opportunities over $25,000. This website in particular, you can use to look up current solicitations, but we also use it for market research to see who was previously awarded contracts that a client might be interested in pursuing in the future. So that one we're recommending to everyone. And then after that, we kind of start over with more Government Contracting 101 in the following months. We also want to really remind everyone that as private spending goes down, the government spending usually picks up. So we're trying to really encourage anyone that is even slightly interested in contracting with the government to reach out to us, and we can help you figure out how or where you fit in there. We help with registrations, certifications, everything from start to finish. So just reach out to us if you're interested. And in addition to expecting the government spending to pick up with recovery from COVID-19, historically speaking, government spending is usually way up in the fourth quarter. That's what we see is when their big contracts go out. So it's awesome to get yourself prepared and registered for everything you need to be while all that is coming forth. So that's pretty much all that PTAC has right now. We still have our COVID-19 playbook, but we don't have any recent updates to that. Our playbook is basically a list of the COVID-19 related solicitations that are out. The government still wants responses in regards to companies that can provide PPE because they're keeping go-to lists kind of, so they know where contractors are located, what their capabilities are if they need that PPE right away. And that's pretty much it from us for now.
Sam, thank you very much. I don't know if anyone's on the call, but I did send out your quarterly update to our contact list yesterday, and you did highlight one of our local success stories, our friends at Great Lakes Fab and Machining. I know Brian is usually on these calls. Brian, are you on the call? Or if anyone from Great Lakes is on the call, if you'd be willing to maybe jump on and maybe give an update on working with PTAC, hit *6 if you are.
Yeah, can you hear me, Justin?
Oh, yeah, good. I'm glad you're on, Brian.
Yep, no problem. Yes, first of all, I can't thank Justin and the team at SEDP enough, and also the PTAC team, Samantha and everybody. It's not a hard process, but never doing it before, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. So we definitely appreciate helping to navigate that process and getting the necessary forms to fill out and getting through that process. So as of right now, we are WeBank certified, SAM certified, and hopefully within a couple of weeks, we will be WOSB or Women-Owned Small Business certified. So that'll be the last leg. But again, can't thank the team enough. It's through that collaborative effort of everyone to help get us to that finish line, and we're almost all the way there. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Brian. I do, before I open it up for you, Sam, you mentioned webinars, and those were listed in the update you provided yesterday. What is the best way for people if they want to learn more about the webinars and to possibly sign up? What's the best way to find out about that?
I'd say the easiest way would be to send me an email. The registration is an online link that we'll send you. And all these take place at 9 in the morning, 9 to 11. But we can always, if one person misses it, we can always kind of do a one-on-one with you and go through it if you want to.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, when we get back into our offices at some point, Sam, you actually come to the Armory and are available to meet with clients face-to-face, right?
Yes. Yep. I'm not 100% for sure on when I'll be able to go back to the Armory with all the restrictions and things right now. But we do have a cubicle there, and it's kind of a highlight of my month to get out of the normal office and go over to the beautiful Armory and talk with everybody in Shiawassee.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, I'd like to open it up right now. If anyone has any comments or questions for Sam, a great resource. If you've ever been thinking about it, as she said, if you've ever been thinking about wanting to sell a product or service to the government, there's probably not going to be a better time to do it. So anybody have any comments or questions for Sam, hit *6, please. Anybody have anything? Okay. Well, Sam, once again, thank you. And as I mentioned, you should have all received their update in your inbox from me yesterday. Please find Sam's contact information in there, and you can get a hold of her. But just to wrap it up, Sam, do you want to give everyone on the call your phone number and email?
Oh, sure. So my phone number is 810-600-1438, and my email address is sfountain, FOUNTAIN, just like a water fountain, at and genesee.org.
Okay. Very
Thank
good.
you, Justin.
Well, Sam, what? Oh,
I
thank
said
you.
thank you.
No, thank you, Sam. Anyone else have any final comments or questions for Sam? Okay. Well, very much appreciate it, and please get a hold of her if you have any questions. So, as we promised, we do want to continue to highlight different products and services that are available to help businesses reopen that are being made or offered through our Shiawassee County businesses. And today, wanted to give an opportunity for the folks from High Quality Glass in Owasso and SLH Metals, Mike's usually on the call, to talk about their mobile barrier product. We did send out some information on this, I think the week before last, via email and social media, but wanted to give them the opportunity to discuss what it is in the hopes that maybe some folks on the call, as you're looking for solutions to protect your employees, to protect your customers, we think this is a great product, and it's made right here in Shiawassee County. So I know Andy's on the phone, Andy Patrick from High Quality Glass. Mike usually is too, but I'll call on Andy first if you want to kind of tell everybody who you are and what you guys are doing. And Andy, remember to hit *6 too. Oh,
can you hear me now?
You there? There
yes,
you go. Yep.
There we go.
We got you. We got
you.
All
right. My name's Andy Patrick, High Quality Glass. Myself and Jeremy Dwyer are the owners down here. And basically what we've come up with is a solution, in our thinking through how we would reopen and how we want to protect the people that work here. We have plenty of counter space that we wanted to be able to keep customers and employees separate. So we with the help of SLH Metals, came up with kind of a mobile desk stand that you can, once it's made, it's self-sufficient, stands on its own, and you can kind of move it around from desk to countertop if you wanted to. The basic size that we've been selling the majority of to most business owners is 48 inches wide, 24 inches tall. Comes with steel stands on each end. The plexiglass is bolted to the stand. They weigh roughly 30 pounds, so they are self-sufficient in being able to support themselves. Outside of that, most people's question is pricing. Pricing is primarily driven on size because of the variation in size of plexiglass material, acrylic that we would use to create the barrier. But that's it. I mean, we've had great success so far, thankfully. I think we've sold almost 50 sets to local businesses around here in the county. So yeah, so far it's been really good working with SLH. They've been very responsive when we need more material. So far, yeah, we've had a lot of success.
And Andy, I did send this out to everybody. Actually, 2 weeks ago. It was on the 23rd, but I'm going to email it out to everyone again right now. And it has some pictures of the product. Are you finding, is this obviously, you have office, you have office settings, retail. Are you finding this to be applicable in pretty much any work environment?
Yeah, we've had it everywhere from insurance agents, retail locations like Freddy's. They bought plexiglass from us. The county bought, I think, 15 sets for various different office spaces and functionalities. They bought some. We did some custom stuff for them. if you're familiar with walking into the courthouse where they have the metal detector, we did some stands that are up 5.5 feet tall. SLH made the stands for us, but yeah, so Tremere is doing some, YMCA is doing some. It's kind of across the board. Anywhere you would have interaction from person to person, even if it's inter-office interaction, trying to keep those people separated. ADS bought a couple. They bolted them to machines to keep two guys that have to work next to each other separated. So stuff like that. Everybody's, in a unique time like this, everybody gets a little creative with how they put stuff together to keep people working.
Great. Well, thank you, obviously, for all that you're doing. This is a huge need out there, and to be able to have a local provider of this to not only help companies reopen, but to be able to keep that money here in our community and supporting two great longtime businesses is great. Does anybody on the call? I just emailed out the information, so you should have that in your inbox if you're on my contact list. But does anybody have any comments or questions for Andy right now? Hit *6 on your phone. Okay, well, Andy, I did send out your contact information in the email, but just so the listeners have it, can you give your phone and email for them?
Yes, sir. Phone number here is 989-723-7896, and the email address is highqualityglass@gmail.com. That's HIQUALITY glass@gmail.com.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jeremy from High Quality. Thank you, Mike Sarazin and team from SLH Metals. Very much appreciate not only the work you guys are doing on this, but all the great work you do in our community on a regular basis. So thanks for joining us today. We are going to continue to do this update for all of you, different providers of products and services. We actually have an interesting one tomorrow. Our friends from a technology company called HULT, HULFT, they have some supply chain software technology that can be very helpful in this time. So I won't steal their thunder, but you'll want to join tomorrow, and we actually have a few more coming up next week. So if anyone, and I've said this quite a bit on the call, if anyone is producing products or services that you haven't talked to us about, please let us know. Jody in our office is building a spreadsheet right now of all this information that we're going to be able to share out to people. We've been talking to folks that can offer masks, sanitizer, these great mobile barriers, face shields, you name it. So if you either do that or if you need that product, please do let us know because we're building a pretty good Rolodex of contacts there. So with that, I'm actually going to let Jody jump on and give a quick update. Jody, do you want to talk about the upcoming SBDC webinar?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So tomorrow there is a webinar through SBDC that will cover reopening your retail business. I think from what we heard, they did this last week and it was very successful, so they're actually doing it again. So if you missed it, you can actually hear from a Michigan Retailers Association member who will detail how to reopen the business and successfully launch after being closed from COVID-19. So that is at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And they have changed their process for registering through SBDC just a little bit. I know I actually was a little confused when I tried to register just because it's a different process. So if you do get in and try to register and you've done it before, you may be required to do things just a little bit differently. But Justin has that link, and actually I don't know if you've already sent it out, Justin, or if you're doing that later on, but
I'm literally sending it out right now. It's going out right now to everybody's inbox.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Jody, anything else you want to touch on?
I think that's it.
Can you we had a staff call before this and talked about this. Can you give everybody an update on the gift packages contact list, please?
Yes. We have, I believe, hopefully we'll have a couple of new items in the gift package list, but we have put together a list. I know some of you have been on the call and heard about it. You probably received the list through Justin. But we have anywhere between 25 and 30, I believe now, different businesses in the county who can sell and deliver some sort of gift or gift basket. We've put that list together, and anyone who is interested in either being on the list so people are able to purchase from you, or if you're interested in receiving the list so that you can purchase items for other people, you can let us know and I can send that out, but it contains information about what they offer. Their website is listed, so you can click on that and actually get in and see some of their products, the best way to contact them. So it's all on that spreadsheet and available if that's something that you're interested in.
I personally have done my commitment. I think you've heard me say this on the call. I'm committed to spending my stimulus check. I'm doing $50 gift packages with 24 different Shiawassee County small businesses. So we're up to now, I think 7 have been purchased and delivered. I've got probably another half dozen that are in the works right now, using that list. And so I know several of you have either used the list or want the list, and we'll send that out to you. But it's a great way to support some local, very small businesses, put some dollars in their pocket through this time. But what we're also finding, it's a great way to sort of serve as a thank you for workers and things like that. So what we've been doing is actually sending baskets, or I've been sending baskets to companies that are providing products and services through this time, or are working through this time, and just to thank them for all of that. So some of you on the call have probably gotten a basket, or you will be getting a basket of some kind. So thank you, Jody, for your work on that. And yes, we will be sending out an updated list of that probably by tomorrow. I do want to touch base again, and I'm going to do this every day now, regarding yesterday's call with Memorial Healthcare President and CEO Brian Long. I think a lot of great information. Memorial is doing tremendous work right now. But the big takeaway yesterday is they have the ability to partner with businesses, governments, employers in Shiawassee County to be able to offer testing for your workers. I think we all know there is a huge need for that. And until we get a vaccine in place, testing is going to be critical. And the fact that we have a local healthcare provider that can work with your organization is absolutely huge. So, and that is not only for the testing of the virus, but they're also working on the antibody testing, which I think is going to be hugely critical as well. So I'm going to be mentioning every day how you can get plugged into that for your organization if you want to get your employees tested in some capacity prior to reopening or expanding your employment. So the two best ways would be through phone, and that number is 989-720-2131, 989-720-2131, or visiting their website, which is memorialhealthcare.org. So I'm going to put a plug in for that each day because I think hopefully many employers want to utilize that for their workers. So, Brent, can you talk about, we have discussed this a few times before, but can you give folks an update and talk about our placemaking grant opportunity?
Yes, this is a program that is available through the I-69 thumb region. This one is targeted to more municipalities, government organizations, nonprofits, but it is for small placemaking projects in the region. They're looking to award 15 grants of up to $2,000 each for projects that are impactful in placemaking and can be completed by September 4th of this year. Anything from physical upgrades to, process improvements for municipalities, things like that. Applications are going to be due on June 1st, so there's still plenty of time to get something put together. If anybody wants more information or has questions, just get a hold of one of our staff and we'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, we'll send that out either today or tomorrow. Send out the copy of the flyer again. Okay, a few other things. I talked to Emily Varney from the census yesterday. We are doing very well as a county. We are ahead of the state. We're ahead of the national average as far as response rate, somewhere close to 70%, which is really good. So the one thing she actually asked about, and I know, Brian, you're on the call from Great Lakes, apparently the one area of Shiawassee County that is a little bit lower represented right now, and they wanted to get more, figure out how to get more responses, is Vernon Township. So I gave her the supervisor's phone number, Bert DeClerc. I gave her the Village of Vernon clerk's number, Krista. Brian, I gave her your number. But if anyone lives in Vernon Township or has a business in Vernon Township, the U.S. Census wants to try to get turnout up for that. So, but if you've not yet filled out the census, please do so. We've mentioned it several times that it means significant money from the federal government in a number of programs into Shiawassee County. So please do it yourself. Please share that information with your workers if at all possible. We want to try to get that turnout up. We mentioned this yesterday. We don't have an update, but I want you to know we're tracking Economic Development Administration, part of the U.S. Department of Commerce, federal program. We have learned that they have a disaster recovery grant program that would allow for up to 100% grants for community and economic development projects. So usually they have about a 50% grant. It looks like it's going to be 100% grant. So that could be impactful for, as I said, community economic development infrastructure, possibly public infrastructure. So if there's any government folks on the line, something to look at. So we're going to try to get a hold of our rep for that. His name is Lee Sheary, and maybe get him on a call next week so he can brief everybody on what that program is about. So that could be, I think, something that would be very, very helpful. I don't have too much on the funding side. I did send an email out to folks yesterday asking for round 2 funding updates for PPP and EIDL. Pretty much everybody, as I said, at this point is in the pipeline. You either have your money or you've been approved or you're just waiting. So I don't think there's too many folks left that are not in. We are hearing, in fact, I talked to one of the folks on the call today last night. There are some changes afoot. They're modifying regulations, which isn't surprising because they pushed so much money out the door in such a short period of time. They really didn't take a lot of time to figure out all the details. So there are a number of things that might be changing. I would obviously encourage you to stay in constant communication with your commercial lender on that. We do have some indication. They are talking about a round 4 stimulus. There might be an opportunity for additional dollars, including money that wouldn't necessarily be related to payroll. So that would be huge because obviously that tool is mainly for payroll. And then also there might be some additional resources for companies, I believe, under 20 employees. So stay tuned on all of that. For tomorrow's call, I'm going to be very interested to hear what they have to say. The CEO of Bishop International Airport is going to be on to talk about what's going on over there. Thank you to those that took the time to fill out that survey that I sent an email out on. We're over 40 responses, so a lot of good critical information was shared. Very favorable information, too. I won't give away the results. They'll talk about it tomorrow. But we have a very strong interest in Shiawassee County of seeing Bishop International Airport remain strong. We know that because many of you fly out of there for personal trips. You fly out of there for work trips. To have a facility like that, 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away is huge for us, in helping our businesses and also attract opportunities too. So that'll be an interesting call tomorrow. And we may have another guest speaker as well. I won't give it away, but we're trying to finalize something today potentially. So you definitely want to make tomorrow's call if you can. And then, as always, the last thing, jobs. I talked to one of our companies last night. They need to hire several people right now. We're going to try to help them get the word out a little bit better. But if you are looking to hire, if you need people, please let us know. Also, Chris Schuler from Michigan Works is usually on these calls. Please let Chris know as well. So with that, I will open up the floor. Any comments or questions from anybody? Hit *6. Anybody have anything? Okay. Well, very good. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.